Appreciate that, Rhino. We welcome now to the program DeKeither Stamps, Public Service Commissioner with the Central District of Mississippi. Commissioner, I don't know that we've had you on the program since you've been elected to this office.
It's my first time on midday. I've been on the morning show.
Okay,
not
gotcha.
Midday.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Mm-hmm. So this has been kind of an active week with the storms from a public services perspective, with utilities in particular. You know, we had Haley Fasackerly, President, CEO of Entergy, on earlier talking about the consequences of the storms that went through a couple of days ago, I guess Tuesday evening and yesterday as well. And I'm seeing trucks and linemen and workers all over the place trying to get the power restored. What are you hearing in your office?
Well, first of all, I want to appreciate you for allowing me to be on,
sure.
and the work you do to keep folks informed, me included. I tune in all the time.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Sure.
And the thoroughness and the education that you provide is invaluable.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
When it comes to our linemen that are out there, I'm just worried about them. Yeah. Because when those wind gusts are still above 30 miles an hour and you're in a bucket truck, it's just totally unsafe for you to be out there that high in the air. And so as soon as the wind dies down, they get out there and keep going, and they're leaving their families and they're out and putting themselves in harm's way. So definitely keep them in your prayers. If you see some trucks out there, bring them some water or something, because they definitely need all the appreciation they can get.
So April is known as Safe Digging Month.
That's right.
So, the good thing about our society is that we've invented all sorts of stuff that we all rely on, technology, utilities, et cetera. I guess the risk is we got a lot of assets underground and even above ground,
That's
right? Aerial assets that are at risk of failure or some sort of interruption, often caused just by accidents.
That's right. And this month is Safe Digging Month, and we just ask folks to pay attention to what you're doing, whether it be in your home. One of the most dangerous things a homeowner can do is put a mailbox in place or a fence down a right-of-way without calling 811 and having it marked properly. And then all of our contractors out there, they do a yeoman's work of connecting everything. But we have to do a better job of calling 811 and marking things and making sure that we pay particular attention to the infrastructure on the ground.
Commissioner, when you call 811, who are you calling? Who is going to be dispatched to mark?
Well, they're gonna come out and they're gonna mark it. But on our side of the fence, we have a pipeline safety division as well that works hand in hand with 811 to investigate issues. So just pay particular attention, whether you be a contractor or a private citizen. Safe Digging Month is to raise awareness that everybody that puts a shovel in the ground, if you put a shovel in the ground, especially on a right-of-way, you need to pay particular attention to what's going on, because you could hit a gas line, you can hit all kinds of things under the ground.
Are they, to your understanding, responsive in that when you call 811, you're not waiting too terribly long for them to get out? Because the folks in the middle of projects don't want to be delayed by that. What does that usually look like?
Well, it's not a huge delay, but everyone could work better together.
Okay.
And if we're a little more respectful and have a little more foresight in what we're doing, call a couple of days ahead when you need it done, and plan better on both sides. They can provide better service, and we can communicate better on our side.
So in addition to the month of April being Safe Digging Month, we've got Lineman Appreciation Day coming up next week on April the 18th, correct?
That's right. Today at our Public Service Commission meeting this morning, we declared April 18th as Lineman Appreciation Day across the state of Mississippi to highlight the hard work and dedication of the linemen and their families. We had Mr. Joey Muir and his wife at the meeting today. And, for the family of linemen, it's even more critical because the storm's raging. Their husband leaves. They're at home in the storm, sometimes with lights off themselves, praying that the lights come back on, but also praying that their husband comes back safe.
Yeah.
Or their wife comes back safe.
Sure.
So just keep all of our linemen in your prayers, because when they're up in those bucket trucks, you're prime for a lightning bolt or a wind gust to negatively impact you and risk your life.
Yeah. So, of course, the legislature is in session, and this being the first session of the 4-year, the new term, they're still down there at the Capitol. They're still trying to get everything squared away, working on various bills from across the hall, the respective houses are, and then on to appropriations bills. Anything in particular that your office is working on, or just public service in general?
Well, first and foremost, we just want our reauthorization bill to go through.
Okay.
We want to be reauthorized to be able to do the work that we do to ensure that the citizens' utilities are reliable, affordable, and that they're redundant.
Okay. So where does that stand right now?
Well, it's going through the process, and it's going to come out of the Senate soon, and we'll move on forward with it. But beyond that, we have to continue to invest more in broadband. We have to invest more in just utilities all around, because we look at things above ground all the time.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily pay as much attention to the things that are below ground. And those are the things that are vital to us moving forward.
I can't remember the exact term used in the industry, but just the principle of power being generated, say, from even a resident, just a third party other than the utility company, and then selling that back to the utility company. I think it has to be.
The net metering?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, net metering. Thank you. Our state is not a dollar for dollar state, right?
No, sir.
But some states are. I think Arkansas, for example. And I'm aware of some economic projects we've actually lost because of that. These companies were looking at building out their own power, solar, wind, what have you. And one of the reasons that they elected Arkansas over Mississippi was because of the difference in the net metering. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, if you dial back a little bit and look at the global perspective, most of our major wars across the world are being fought for energy.
Okay.
And so that's how power hungry the world is becoming. And now with the advent of artificial intelligence, your normal Google search is it produces energy. Every time you search something on Google, but the AI searches are 7 to 12 times more energy consuming.
Sure.
So the more we evolve to artificial intelligence, that means we have to produce 7 to 12% more energy for each one of those searches, and you multiply that across the whole state of Mississippi. And now we're trying to figure out how do we make sure that we are producing more energy. And these major companies like Amazon, they want a component of renewable energy.
That's right.
Now, I'm a natural gas and nuclear guy myself because it's more stable and definitely more reliable. But we have to take into effect what these major corporations want in their energy production mix. And so we have to work through those issues to provide it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The explosion of data center construction, which is honestly being driven to a large part by artificial intelligence, they're energy hungry operations. The problem is, as you know, it takes a long time to provision new capacity and new transmission. It's also an expensive endeavor, and it's regulated, and there's a lot of red tape to go through. And so we're sort of often hit with delays and just getting some of those types of services provisioned from the major data center operators because they can't get the energy they need. And they're searching to locate where they can get energy. It's one of the big reasons that we landed the AWS project here in Mississippi.
And we're going to continue to provide a stable regulatory environment at the Public Service Commission that they can feel comfortable making those major investments in to produce more of that industry in Mississippi.
Yeah. I think it's critical to our economic growth, and it's certainly a trend that's going to be driving the national, if not the global, economy as well. Modular nuclear reactors. Do you think there's perhaps a future for that in the state of Mississippi?
Oh, most definitely. If we can do what the rest of the country is afraid to do, is take bold steps forward to do big things, we can set Mississippi up in a position it can benefit long term. In the first few years of the Grand Gulf Nuclear Power Plant, those were rough years.
Yeah.
But it has in turn paid off dividends, so much so that we sell power to Louisiana and Arkansas, and the profits of that lower the rates for Mississippi ratepayers. You know, so small modular reactors, I'm definitely in support of that.
Okay.
And I look forward to getting that in the Central District. I want the Central District of Mississippi to be the energy production hub of the whole Southeast.
Okay.
Just like down on the coast, we have a plant down there that we're doing a deal with Georgia to sell power to the Atlanta area because it's growing so much but not producing. Grand Gulf sells power to Louisiana and Arkansas, and I want to continue to produce more power in Mississippi so that we can drive down the rates of Mississippians.
Well, that's interesting. Before we go here, do you believe that your view of supporting modular reactors is also shared with the other public service commissioners?
We put forth a resolution a few weeks at our last meeting in support of that, and I appreciate Commissioner Brown and Commissioner Carr for supporting that. And we sent it over to the legislature and said, we're in support of this.
Okay.
And we want the legislature to move the ball down the road. Hopefully we can get it done in the Central District.
Love to see that happen as well. Glad to know that you're in support of that.
Yes,
I think it's honestly a critical component of our energy future.
We must produce more power in Mississippi while the rest of the world is kind of sitting back on their laurels. If we lean forward a little bit, we can set ourselves up for the next 100 years.
Well, it's critical to our economic growth, and we appreciate your thoughts on that. Thanks for coming in,
Thank you
Commissioner.
very much.
DeKeither Stamps, Public Service Commissioner, Central Mississippi District. Coming right back, folks, in the Element Wealth Studio.